What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the round 4 showdown for the Wells Fargo Championship here. Back with Drew here. Kurt is off doing something tonight. We got Drew filling in. Excited to break this down again. I think we had it pretty much nailed down the last show we did. So looking forward to kind of different strategy here with it being round 4. A lot of people are going to try and jam in the top of the leaderboard here because they get those bonus placement points. But yeah, Drew, what's going on with you, and how do you usually attack round 4 showdown?
Yeah, man, doing good. In one of the best leaderboards, I guess, jam-packed leaderboards we've seen in a couple seasons, it feels like. So, yeah, I mean, it's unique. It's unique. I haven't seen a field or like a jam leaderboard like this in a while. So we kind of talked pre-show. Like this would be a situation if you're max entering, man, you could take a stand on either Clark or Shoffley or against both of them, and then just try to pepper the range inside the top 30 below them. So Clark is going to be super chalky, especially at the price. Xander's probably within reach, relatively to like where his placement is. He's probably the guy that I would pay up for and try to play at the top here. But Clark is tough, man. And I think it helps having a lot of exposure to him like this year in general and then this week. You feel like if he plays well, it helps your full week teams. And if he doesn't, you do well in Showdown and the other teams maybe just still cash decent. So it's a unique situation because, I mean, obviously 16, 14 under, and then the next placement for T3 is at 11. It looks like Clark or Shoffley would be the guy to take it home. So I think you got to take a stand on one or the other. That's the kind of the way I'm viewing this.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think of even if you wanted to jam both of those guys in there? I think if you want to do that, you need to skip like everyone down to at least -8. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you wanted to jam Clark and Shoffley, which definitely isn't a bad strategy, certainly in like single entry and 3 max, that's probably a really good strategy because like Clark makes every lineup work at 8,800. So yeah, I would say Clark, Shoffley, and then. Yeah, I would probably start with the 7 under range and go down from there. So yeah, skip everyone down to 8 and then start with the 7 under range. You'll lose, we'll just call it, I don't know, an average of like 20% across all those players there in that range. And that should be enough to kind of negate the chalkiness of Clark and Shoffley.
Yeah, for sure. I like that as well. You got any sweats heading into Sunday? How's your main slate looking? Mine's not looking the best. I don't think I have any real sweats at all heading into Sunday.
It's not looking good. I got butchered in let me pull it up really quick. There's one guy that stands out, and I've already forgotten who it is because it's hurt so bad. Let's see here. It is Will Gordon. The guy I talked about on the Wednesday show, and I think we also talked about it on the Thursday Showdown show.
Yeah.
But Will Gordon missed it by 1, I think, and 1 or 2. He finished at +1. What was the cut? -1. Will Gordon I had a good bit of exposure to. And the dude was cruising for a while on Thursday and on Friday. I think he was like 3 or 4 under at one point, and then just completely botched it coming in. So that kind of stung. So yeah, not a ton of sweats. Cantley, I was overweight on it. He's not doing too much. He's just cruising through, made cuts, and probably going to backdoor like a top 15. So, there's not a lot of love on my DraftKings app this week.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We'll battle back though, and we'll find the winner circle here tomorrow. It's always a good time to make up for whatever's lost heading into round 4 showdown. So we can kind of start this out. And if you're just joining us, please hit the like and subscribe. It really helps bring these free shows to you guys. We're going to kind of go down the leaderboard here. And then if you want to join the movement over here, runpuresports.com, use that promo code Snyder15 for 15% off your first week or month. We'll have the Showdown playbook over there, which is going to have a detailed breakdown, expensive tier, mid-tier, cheap tier, golfer, price, score, player notes for every player. And then we're going to have some core plays up there. And we'll be in Discord as well. So make sure to head on over to Run For Your Sports and join the movement there. But we can dive into this leaderboard here. You just want to jump through like the 10 and under and up range here, and then we can kind of move down the board.
Yeah, that's perfect. So it is dependent on ownership, and I probably should have that up on my sheet, which I don't at the moment. But honestly, I think Shoffley's the guy that I would pay up for. We just talked about a strategy. You could play both Clark and Shoffley, and you can certainly do that. In GPPs, I think Shoffley would be the guy that I would make sure that I have exposure to. I think he's been playing really well through today. I mean, pretty much all year in general. But I think Clark's going to get a bit of attention, and Shoffley at his price might be a little bit lower owned. I would expect. So I think Shoffley is good to play. Adam Scott looks really solid, like nothing like he's played all year. I think he's in fine shape. And then what do you want to do? 10 under and down, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So the other guy, let's see here. I think at the price, Sung J M is probably the best value. None of these guys. So everyone at 10 under is basically just cruising through, gaining a decent amount of strokes putting, doing a little bit ball striking, nothing like flashy. So I don't really have a strong bias towards anyone in particular. I think Sung Jae is most interesting because he's playing the par fives better than Fleetwood and Harris English. And honestly, Harris English probably wasn't on anyone's radar to start the week, so it wouldn't be any reason for me to jump aboard at this stage of events. So I think Sung Jae M Shoffley would be what I would start a lot of lineups with at the top here. And again, Sung Jae M, I don't know. If I start Shoffley, Sung J M, or anybody starts Shoffley, Sung J M, there's probably a lower chance that they include Clark. So I'm hoping that's a leverage spot on Sung J M being like the most expensive guy besides Shoffley, 10 under and better.
Yeah, I really like that Sung Jae call there as well. He's played good over the weekends here this year, so I think he's a prime target I'll be looking to get overweight on. I think I'm going to fade Hatton and Scott up here at the top, though. I mean, they're both gaining over 3 strokes with the short game today. Neither of them hit the irons or off the tee that great. Hatton was good off the tee. Scott struggled off the tee today. Neither of them really hit their irons that good. So if that short game kind of regresses tomorrow, I can see them kind of falling down. So I think I'm going to be underweight on those two. And if I had to pick one of the top two, I think I'd be right there with you with Xander. I think he's more built for this. I think he can deal with the pressure more. It's interesting to see how much pressure, how Wyndham deals with the pressure with this being an elevated event and so much more money towards the top. I think I would go with Xander, and then Sung Jae would be my other top 2 targets here in this 10K range. I don't think I'm going to get to Harris English or Fleetwood as well. So I think it's just going to be like Sung Jae and Xander, maybe some Wyndham if I do play Wyndham Xander team or something like that. But I do really like the Sung Jae there. He was good across the board today. He gained everywhere today, over 5 strokes total. So I really like where Sung Jae is heading to tomorrow. So we can kind of dive into the next 10 or so guys, 8 under to 9 under, 9 and 8 or something.
Yeah, that works.
You can get down to 7 if you want to. As well.
Yeah, so I think a couple guys stand out to me. I think you just go back to Homa. If you have the salary, Homa is a guy we talked about on last night's show and did pretty well today. I don't see any reason not to go back to him. I'll probably be off of Woodland. I played him the first 3 rounds and lacked a little bit today. And again, his price has been climbing, so this will probably be a jump off spot for me. Svensson is okay. I won't have any Svensson. So I mentioned it last night. This is really interesting. Of all the people besides Shoffley actually picked up a couple of shots on the par 5s today. But Svensson is 8 under for the event. He's 10 under on the par 5. So besides par 5 scoring, Svensson has really not played very well. So I won't have any Svensson. I'm okay with Corey Connors, and I'm okay with Nate Lashley as well. I'm surprised Lashley didn't play much better today. What did he finish at? He finished it even. So he lost 2 strokes off the tee. I believe he hit 1 out of bounds or hit 1 in the water. So I'm okay with Lashley as well at 7,200. That's a decent value price. But to be honest, I think this would be a range, man. I would really gravitate towards Homa. That would be the guy that could of anybody. Maybe can't catch Shoffley if Shoffley keeps playing as well as he does. But he could certainly finish in the top 2 if Clark stumbles, or top 3 at best. So I think you go back to Homa. This is his place, and he's playing well. I like that one quite a bit. And he's really underperformed on the par 5s. He's only 3 under, and he's gone for 6 and 2. And a bit of a struggle in the par 5. So I think Homa's in a good spot to keep climbing up the leaderboard.
Yeah, I was on Homa as well in the playbook yesterday. I had him listed as one of my top overall candidates there. So I really like going right back to Homa there. I'm going to go right back to Michael Kim as well, just for the price. I've been on him the whole week, so I don't see why I would want to jump off right now. With his price, 7,100. So he's out of the 6Ks, but still 7,100. That's still cheap enough for me to keep plugging Kim in there. I think I'm going to be with you off of Woodland. I mean, he gained nearly 4 strokes with the short game today. Lost with the irons, was break even or so with off the tee. I think I'm going to be with you off of him there. JT didn't putt as well today as he has been. Basically, it was like a break even round with him with the flat stick today.
He's really not playing the par 4s and 3s great. So I would be off of JT, especially at the price. Like, of any of the spots, man, that would be a leverage spot. I don't think it's good leverage, to be honest. But 9,700, I assume no one plays him. He doesn't look great anyways. And
yeah, he would probably be
play anyone,
like 5th for me in that top tier range. I'd rather play Xander, Sungjae, Max Homa, and then Hovland as we kind of get down into that. I'd rather play all those guys over JT, I think. And they're all cheaper too. So I definitely probably will be off JT as well. Nate Lashley's fine, like you said. I think he's an interesting option there.
And he's cheap enough. Like you can fit him into a decent number of builds. That's the other problem with JT. Like if JT was like 8,800, sure, give him a shot and find him as like a low in GPP play. But 9,700 that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they finally boosted his price after the first 3 days of keeping it low. What are you thinking about like Connors at 7,900? He played well today. He hit the irons really good today. Almost gained 3 strokes. I think he's interesting there if you're looking for a mid-range target as well.
Totally fine with Connors. I assume he'll get a little bit higher ownership than he did today. But he was big on my sheet last night, and he continued more of that today. I mean, he's really not excelling on the greens. Obviously, doesn't do that in general. But he's got 9 shots inside of 12 feet. He's only made 4 of them. He's got 14 inside of 18 feet. It's only made 4 of those. So he's making nothing. So he could have a low, 7-8 under round in him if again it's Corey Connors. So maybe the hot putter to shoot 8 under is never going to be in him. But I mean at 7,900, the ball striking's there, and there's opportunity for sure. He's playing the par 5s pretty decent. He's 5 under on the par 5. So. Yeah, I like Connors at 7,900. He'll just get some higher ownership, and I think that's still fine. But that's pretty much it for me. It's really just Svensson, Woodland, and JT would be the big phase there in that 8K range or the -8 range.
Yeah, I agree with that fully there as well. And as we kind of dive into the 7 range, I think my favorite overall target on the whole slate is going to be right here in this 7 under range, and Victor Hovland. I talked him up in the playbook last night. He's one of those guys that if he just kind of sneaks into the weekend, he's one of those guys that can go out and just nuke it over the weekend and just rise up that leaderboard without anybody really paying attention to him. He shot 5 under today, 8 strokes across the board. I think I'm going to go right back to him tomorrow. I think he can shoot 5 or 6 under again and possibly creep inside that the top 5 even, I think, tomorrow. So I'm going to be overweight on Hovland. And then we can do the 7 and 6 range. My guy JJ Spawn, I've been playing great this week. He was a soldier. He lost 2 strokes with the short game today, doubled 11, made a couple other bogeys. I'm going to go right back to JJ tomorrow. I don't think many people will go back to him. 7,500, fair price tag for him. I'm going to be on him. What's sticking out to you here in the 7s and 6s down here?
Yeah, there's a couple guys. So I think this is a good spot to save a little bit of salary. I think Alex Smalley at 6,800 is way too cheap, or at least relative to his placement on the leaderboard and also his underlying stats. So Smalley at 6,800 looks really good. I just kind of rattled off some numbers on like Homa and Nate Lashley, Corey Connors. Smalley's not far behind him. He's got 11 shots inside of 18 feet on the par 3s and par 5 or par 3s and par 4s. And he's also kind of underperforming on the par 5. So only 4 under this week with other guys at 8, 7, 10 under par. So I think Smalley's in for a good one. And The other one, I'm fine with JJ Spawn. Yeah, that one's fine. Kevin Streelman's still interesting. Like the dude started off hot on Thursday, and his numbers still look pretty decent to play well. I know his strokes gained numbers don't look like they're popping off the page, but he's got a lot of good approach shots. Probably top inside of 24 feet, to be honest. So I think Streelman's fine, and I think that's pretty much it here. Like I'm going to be off of Doug Gim. I really don't play a lot of Matthew Neesmith this year, and I don't plan to jump aboard tomorrow. Kuchar doesn't look great. That'll probably be a pretty strong fade. I wouldn't recommend anyone play Kuchar. Dylan Wu as well. So, yeah, really just Alex Smalley stands out the most in at 6,800. I'm good with that. And then, like you said, Victor Hovland, if you're going to spend up from a contrarian point of view, Victor Hovland's going to be the guy that he could shoot 9 or 10 under on this type of golf course when we saw, Xander Schauffele and Wyndham Clark shoot 7 and 8 under. So I like those three quite a bit, and that'll probably be a strong part of my core this week or this tomorrow, I guess Sunday.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I think those are definitely right there near the top of the list for me as well. We can dive into this 5 and 4 under range. There's a couple guys in this range that I'm definitely not playing tomorrow. Hubbard, Walker, and McCarthy, they all gained upwards of 3 to 4 strokes putting today, so I don't think I can go back to there. Yep. McCarthy lost 2 strokes with the approach. Jimmy Walker lost 1.7 with the approach, so I think I'm going to be fading those guys there. I'm going to go back to my guy Grillo, though, tomorrow. He made 5 birdies again today. Did give a couple back on the back nine, but he's one of those guys with good upside, and the price tag is still reasonable there, only at 7,700. So I like going back to Grillo with his birdie upside. Keegan Bradley's always in play in Showdown because you just never know what he's going to fire up there at the time. Taylor Moore hasn't played the best the last 2 days, even par both days. But day one, we saw that 5 under round there. We made 6 birdies. So I think Taylor Moore's right there in play. I think he's going to be quite low owned tomorrow as well. And then what were we doing? Sixes and 7s or 5s and I can't remember.
5s and 4s, I think.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Cantley's right there. Cantley was just terrible today, it looks like, pretty much, except for off the tee. I mean, he lost over 2 with the approach and lost about a stroke putting.
Yeah.
He's a bounce back guy that'll be low owned. No one's going to play him tomorrow, I don't think. So I think he's a good tournament play at 10-4. I can see like nobody going there. What's sticking out to you here in this range?
Yeah, if you want to go contrarian and play Cantley, I would still jam in a guy at the top of the board like a Schauffele or a Hovland, and you just go super stars and scrubs. So I'm okay with it. I won't be playing any Cantley. It's just at 10-4. It's really hard to make lineups work, and from an optimal standpoint, it's not going to work out very often. I mean, he could shoot 4 or 5 under, and he's going to move up the board a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to pay off when you got Xander up there as well. So a couple of guys that really stand out. You mentioned Grillo. Absolutely. I'll go back to Grillo. I think I played him every single day this week in Showdown, and things look pretty good. I'm good with going back to Keegan Bradley. I'm good with Taylor Moore, as you said. And Tom Kim I like as well. 8,500 for him, a little bit steep. I think it's pretty close to where he was priced to start the week off.
Yeah, I think so.
But I do like Tom Kim as well. None of them stand out too much on like the par 5 scoring. They've been kind of mediocre, so there's some room for them to shoot 2 or 3 under on the par 5s, and then if they shoot 3 or 4 under on the par 4s and par 3s, we got a low round in the book. So the ball striking is definitely there. Grillo, Bradley Moore, Tom Kim, that group right there at 5 under is looking pretty good. There's really nobody at 4 under that I have any interest in, to be honest. I don't know what Trace Crow's stats look like, but I can assure you that, they don't look great anyways. That's good. He's hit a lot of he's hit a lot of shots inside of 12 feet, which is surprising, but he's hit a lot of shots inside of 12 feet, 10 to be exact, but he's made 9 of them. So like the dude is capped out on his ceiling right now. I just wanted to point that out, but his numbers, strokes gained doesn't look great, so it shouldn't be popping up for anybody. But yeah, his proximity stood out to me, and I thought that was interesting. Not many guys are making 9 of 10 from inside of 12 feet. That's pretty impressive. And he's still only 4 under. So he's having some others during his rounds for sure. But I really do like that 5 under range. I'll probably, if I was doing a 20 max, I would set a group to probably play one of Tom Kim, Taylor Moore, Bradley, or Grillo. It fits your lineup builds. It gives you exposure to a range where they're not going to be overly chalky, and they all look like they have good upside.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point there with the 20 max rule there. I think that's definitely something you should incorporate. We get down to the -3s, -2s here. Jaeger was a guy I had mentioned in the playbook today. He played all right today. I mean, it was a good stats day when you're looking at this from a showdown aspect. Over 1 stroke gain with the approach, lost over a stroke with the putter. Had it going mid-round, was playing pretty good. Bogeyed 3 and then bogeyed 18 on the way in. I think he's fine tomorrow if you're going to go back to him. Still has a relatively cheap price tag at 7,600, so I think he's fine there. Chad Ramey's definitely a stats guy you could be looking at here. Plus 2.8 strokes approach. Lost over 3 strokes putting today. He only lost mainly a lot of that on 2 holes, though. Hole 2, he lost over a stroke, and then hole 12, he lost over a stroke putting as well. So that's kind of interesting there. I think that's pretty much it for me. I don't think I can play Finau. I'm not going to play Akshay. No ball hustler for me. No Denny. What's sticking out to you here in these 3s and 2s here? Killer Keith Mitchell there. He lost 2 strokes around the green today. I mean, that was pretty abysmal there. Same with Fitzpatrick. He lost 1.7 around the green. What's sticking out to you here in this range?
Yeah, to be honest, I realistically won't play anybody below 3 under and worse.
I agree.
There's a couple guys that stand out if, again, 20 max, or if you're going to play 50 lineups or something like that. Akshay Bhatia, Trey Mullinax. I played Hayden Buckley today. Talked about him last night. He lost like 5 strokes on and around the greens. And I would really hate for his 5 under round to come tomorrow when I fade him. So I'll probably play some Hayden Buckley just because I'm sulking a bit. But I'm mainly going to look at like cheap guys. So Trey Mullinax is 6,500. Akshay Bhatia is 7,400. Not the cheapest guy, but I could see him firing a decent round. I don't see anybody at even par or worse that I would play. And again, I would just be looking for cheap guys like 6K to make like a stars and studs lineup work, or a stars and scrubs lineup work. So yeah, there's really no one down here. I mean, they could all shoot 5 under, and they're not going to crack the top 40 or top 30, I should say. So, yeah, being completely honest, I don't think anyone. We'll just call a couple guys there at 3 under I like, and below that there's 0. I think there's 0 plays that are worth mentioning for me.
Yeah, generally on round 4, I don't like to dip under dip under the 40 T40 range or so. So I'm right there with you there.
If it was like the American Express, or like these guys are shooting. I mean, they played really well today, but not everyone played really well today. I mean, Xander, Wyndham Clark to shoot 7 and 8 under. I don't know what the stroke average was, but like overall this week, it's been over par. So for them to shoot 7 and 8 under is pretty impressive. If this was like the American Express and like the stroke average was 68 or something like that, sure, you can go down here and just assume someone's going to shoot 60 and, and try to take a GPP approach that way. But I don't see that happening. I see the guys at the top of the leaderboard slowly moving up, and you're basically, there's so many guys from 4 under up to Wyndham Clark. I think the optimal lineup comes from that range. Even if someone down below shoots 5 under, I think you find someone that shoots 5 under in that 4 to 16 under range anyway. So that's kind of my approach on these more difficult weeks. The birdies the birdies are valuable, and they're just not going to be enough for them to make up enough ground if they're that far down.
Yeah, I fully agree with that as well. We can, you want to build them another core like we did the other day? I think that core did all right. I can't remember who Hell had, but I think it was pretty solid.
I think it did. I think the 4 or 3 that we mentioned did really well. I think it's the other people I put in my lineup didn't do so well. So,
same here.
The core is crushing, I'm sure. We could do 3 or 4 if you want.
Yeah, let's just throw someone out there. Who you want to go with for a stud up there? Let's take one guy minus 10 or better.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take the guy right there if you want.
Let's see. I mean, if I was building a core, dude, it would probably start with Xander, to be honest. I think at 14 under, the dude probably should have shot 7 under at least one other day this week. So I think Xander's the guy that I would prioritize at the top of the board. And if there's, like I said, there's plenty of other cheap options we can play. But yeah, I would say my starting core would be Xander for sure.
Yeah, I think I might, if you're going to go Xander, I might even drop down to Hovland, and I don't think many people are going to pair those two together. I mean, I don't think
there's plenty of cheap guys. There's plenty of cheap guys, so you can make it work.
We can get, you mentioned the couple of them. Let's just start out with Xander and Hovland. I mean, both of those guys can nuke and shoot 7 under tomorrow, so I like the upside that brings, and it gets us down out of that top 10 range too with 2 studs.
Yep. Yeah, the guy that stands out to me next would be Smalley. I think if you're going to save salary, that's important. 6,800 for him. Like the dude, he's got placement potential. Obviously, he's 9 shots back of the lead, but he's only 3 shots outside of the top 5. So, I think Smalley at 6,800 would be a perfect fit. And then I guess you can throw one more in there, and that'd probably be 4 or 6 decent core right there.
Yeah, might as well. We were both on this guy, so let's just throw Grillo in there at 7,700. That kind of leaves people enough money to go wherever they want there for the last 2 guys. I think that's a good mix and match of a 6K, a 7K, and then a 9K and a 10K. So I mean, that's gonna leave probably mid-7s, I'm guessing, for the last 2 guys.
Yeah, I was gonna check it really quick, but yeah, we can suppose it's gonna be mid-7s for sure. I was gonna throw it real quick. I got it. Hovland, Grillo, and who was that? Smalley.
And
Xander. That leaves 7,900 on average. So you could go up or go down or stay around, the low 8s and high 7s. So plenty of flexibility there. And of course, you could always swap out Xander for Wyndham Clark if you really think he's going to get the job done, and you have even more salary left to jam in, Max Homa or somebody. So plenty of flexibility tomorrow in lineup construction.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered that good. Any final thoughts for you before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Hopefully it's a good finish, to be honest. I mean, from a golf fan's perspective, I'm hoping Wyndham Clark or Schauffele, at least stay together, not one of them runs off and makes it a 1-horse race. So that's pretty much it, man. Hopefully it's an exciting finish and not something where like there's just one guy that's at 21 under and that you could tune out on the back 9.
Yeah, I'd like to see it at least tied up or at least a 1-shot advantage there heading into 16, 17, 18 where the holes get tougher there. So
exactly, yeah.
Fun finish.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we pretty much covered everything. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out if you haven't yet. That helps us tremendously here. But I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. We appreciate it. For Drew, I'm Snyder. We're out of here.